Hello. How's everybody doing? We are live for the first time. Hello. Welcome. I'm Doc3307, and this is a show called The Pit. That's what I'm calling it now. For now. Um, talk a little bit about what the show's about. It's about Destiny 2. Uh, I have been playing Destiny 2 for a long time. Um, it I love the game. So, I'm gonna. The show is going to air 2 times a week. Tuesdays for resets and Thursdays for the twabs, and there'll be like special occasions like maybe raid days, day one raids, maybe covering, see what's going on in the raid races. But let's get into it. Today is the last reset of Destiny 2 for the Witch Queen DLC. It was a regular reset. There's nothing, no new missions, no nothing. Everything happened last week. So everything came to a close last week. Now we're just waiting for the new content to come out next Tuesday. But let's talk about the Witch Queen and what what happened throughout the year. The Witch Queen came out, and they came out with a new thing called the Legendary Campaigns, where you could set your difficulties harder and you could get more loot out of it. I thought it was a great idea. It was really good. The difficulty was increased, um, and the campaign overall was great. I thought it was really good. My camera is out of focus. Why? Because of this light back here. I think. Give me a sec. There. Should fix. Ha! I'm here! Anyways, we'll talk about the Witch Queen campaign. The Witch Queen campaign, of course, had the legendary difficulty, and it was a very good campaign. A lot of things in the story that were unexpected, like um, Savathun gaining the light. And I think the main thing that um, was kind of amusing was like Ikora would say, they would say, Ikora and Zavala, they would say she took the light. But at the end, we see that technically she was chosen by the light. Like, yeah, they were rogue ghosts, but she was chosen by those ghosts, you know? And also, you think about it, the the traveler allowed for that to happen. So this guy knows what's up with the pyramids and the dude that's coming. And I think he's just recruiting anybody. Hey man, you want the light? You can fight for me though. You get the light, kind of thing. Um my favorite mission in the whole campaign was probably the Riven mission. Um it has to be the Riven mission. It was so cool. Just the way they brought back Riven and the memory of that fight. It was amazing. They did really good. Overall, they did really good with the campaign, and it was fun. I was hooked on Destiny again with that DLC with the Witch Queen. What? Okay, so after the Witch Queen came Season of the Risen. Season of the Risen. Uh, Season of the Risen. Let me give you an overview real quick. In Season of the Risen, the Witch Queen is stolen the light. Her hive army rises from the battlefield. Undeterred, our only hope lies using psionic technology shared by Empress Keitel to sever the Lucent Brood's connection to the light and uncover their hidden plans. In this season, we see a lot of Crow, and we know that in the end he kind of fucks shit up because at this point in Crow's story, he's still kind of lost. I think so. Yeah, I mean, I really can't blame him for what he did. Uh, Along with Season of the Risen though came Void 3.0. And the my thoughts on Void 3.0 was it was amazing, especially with volatile rounds being part of the artifact for the season. So you could put volatile rounds on your armor, and every time you picked up a void well, you became volatile. So it was pretty amazing. I'm kind of sad that they didn't kind of work that into the super. Uh, Not sad about it, but it, it it's worked in there to where you throw a grenade, and if you get a kill with a grenade, you become volatile, and you're able to do volatile damage. But it's so short, like it doesn't reset. It's just 5 seconds of volatile, and that's it. Now I get it. I mean, volatile is pretty strong, but in the end, I wish there was another way to get volatile. Now there is with a hunter with the chest piece, but you have to play on your hunter. It's not something you could do with your warlock and your titan. Along with Season there is also came Psios Battlegrounds. It says with the aid of Kaido, most trusted scions, you enter the mindscape where thoughts manifest to reality, and wield the synaptic spear to break Savathun's influence and destroy the hive's connection to the light. Overall, the Psyops Battlegrounds was probably one of my top activities this whole year. It actually probably the best activity this whole year. We'll talk about the other ones when we get into those seasons, but I think it was the better one of the better ones. It was heavy with enemies, and it wasn't too long, so it was really good. I thought it was really good. The season itself was really good. Of course, we were talking about Crow earlier. He was just being Crow, and he was kind of lost, trying to do the right thing the wrong way, and he ended up killing one of the main scions for Kaido. And the punishment was going to be a life for a life. Kaido was going to take Crow's life because she took her scion's life. Now I don't know if she was going to kill him or just take him prisoner and he was going to be her servant. But Saladin steps in and he offers his life over Crow's. And that's pretty big for Saladin to do, especially because Crow and Saladin didn't get along very good throughout the season. But it was pretty big, and I think that kind of changed Crow's mentality, and he, kind of learned something. I hope. But that whole season was really good. That was one of the best seasons also to roll very good armor at the table. And there was a couple of good guns, a pulse rifle and a grenade launcher. Um, I don't remember what the names of the pulse rifle was. What was the pulse rifle? Let me pull it up real quick here. We will see. It is here somewhere. Promise. And it is called Peace of Mind. Peace of Mind is a 540 RPM pulse rifle, and you can craft it. The best roll, I believe, was Adrenaline Junkie and Perpetual Motion is what I rolled, or is what I made. I think Perpetual Motion and Focus Fury was another top ranked roll for that gun, and that was pretty good. It was also a grenade launcher. It was a solar wave frame grenade launcher. The solar wave frame grenade launcher was explosive personality. That one was also pretty good. It didn't have very good rolls, like the one you get from the Disciple, but it was pretty good. But overall, I would say that season was pretty good. It was one of the better seasons we've had in a while. Um, and overall, compared to all the other seasons, it was one of the better seasons. So we'll rank the seasons at the end when we're done talking about them all. So let's move on to the next season. The next season was Season of the Haunted. The Haunted. We see the Moon return on this, and we see the Leviathan return on this season, and we also see Solar 3.0. So we have Void 3.0 in Season of the Risen, and then we have Solar 3.0 the following season. So we're getting all these new things we could do with our abilities with Solar and Void. Of course, Void, we lost Waltz all around, so I think this is where everybody started messing with Solar, and then soon found out that it was very strong. It was really, really strong. For hunters, you could do a trip. I did a trip mine build where you throw the trip mine and you get a bunch of kills, and you get the bomb that you throw. And I gotta tell you, I don't know how many times I've killed myself with that bomb. Numerous times, at least once a day, at least once a day. But in that season, it was we got introduced to Incandescent, which is amazing, an amazing roll on your weapons. And they also brought back some opulent weapons like a Callus Mini Tool, and that's probably the main weapon, the best weapon that came back. It was really good at clearing ads, and you can craft it and make it with Incandescent. And Incandescent was just so good, spreading scorch and setting everything on fire. It was amazing. Then you had, of course, you had the grenades for your hunter. You also had, the hunter wasn't the best, but you had the warlock, who the fusion grenades, I believe it was the fusion grenades, were so broken. They're still broken. They're amazing. They do so much damage. It's really good. If you wear the chest piece. So you put on the grenade and you wear Starfire Protocol. Fusion grenades have an additional charge and recharge from empowered weapon damage. Fusion grenade kills grant rift energy. Uh, and they do more damage when you're in a well of radiance or empowered rift. So you use your rift, you throw a grenade, you get more, you get rift energy back. You throw another grenade, you get rift energy back, and then you put another rift down, and you get more grenade. It's really good. It's just a really good build all around. And then of course you had your Immortal Titan. When before everything got nerfed, it was you, and then you had Loreley Splendor Helm. It just allowed you to survive anything pretty much. And Season of the Haunted was actually the best season to do solo content. Just because of the survivability of the Titan. Now everything's been nerfed, so it's a little bit harder, but the Titan is still so strong at surviving with solar abilities. But we'll see what they do with the nerfs coming to resilience and and solar. We'll see what happens. But overall, season of the Haunted was not too bad. It was not too bad. That season, Callus has returned aboard the Leviathan to claim nightmarish power of the lunar pyramid. To face this new challenge, Guardians must become a Reaper and take down the nightmares before they spread. So, like in Season of the Risen, you would take the Synaptic Spear and you would damage Savathun's like ghost, kind of. You would damage it and then beat the mission. It would spawn the boss and you kill the boss and that's it. And this new activity was the nightmare containment. It says travel to the nightmare castle and contain the nightmares. Guardians will use their nightmare harvesters to collect shards of dread and bind to their harvester. As shards are collected and bound, stronger nightmares will appear. Defeat hordes of enemies and powerful bosses to earn opulent and haunted armor and weapons. Nightmare containment was fun. It was fun if you were using your solar builds. Like I would use my hunter and I would use my solar builds. And and what Nightmare Containment did was bring out Divinity. Like I was always running Divinity. If somebody else was running it, I would take it off and run something else. But there was always somebody running Divinity in our instances. And it was amazing to see. Like somebody willing to run Divinity for the boss damage. It was pretty cool. Um but overall the season was pretty good. The story for the season was we helped our other characters like Zavala, Kaido, um, and Eris. We helped them overcome these nightmares that haunted them. For Eris, of course, it was her fire team. For Kaido, it was her father. No, no, it wasn't her father. It was what's his name? What's his name? I forgot his name. The dude from Vanilla Destiny 2. Gaul. There you go. Gaul. Gaul was his name. So her nightmare was Gaul, and pretty much not accepting her as a leader and making her think that she's not a worthy leader for the Cabal. And then, of course, for Zavala, it was his wife. And I think Zavala had the worst of the three. Like Zavala it was looking kind of bleak for Zavala there for a minute. I really thought something was gonna happen to Zavala. Like I thought he was gonna, kick it in that season. Like it got pretty like depressing for him. Like there was a point where he said that he couldn't do it anymore, and I was like, oh shit, holy crap, man. It was kind of like he wasn't coming back from it, you know. But in the end, we're able to, you know, save them from their nightmares, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty good season. That season also introduced the dungeon duality, which was one of the it's duality is one of my favorite dungeons to do. It's really good. Um, the only thing is that there's some bugs. There's still some bugs now, where you finish fighting and it's just teleporting you and teleporting you. But there was some bugs where the bells would activate because of something. So it was it was just an annoying little bugs, just like in Prophecy though. Back then, Prophecy, you would go into the cube room and you would get stuck in the cube room because it wouldn't teleport you to the next room. You just get stuck on top and then float down, and then you're just stuck there because nobody can, take you to the next room. And that's one of the reasons I never solo Flawless Prophecy or soloed it, for that matters, because of that room. I tried to solo it one time and I got stuck in that room. The one time I tried to solo it, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing this anymore." I lost interest in it because of that. Um, what else happened that season? Dungeon Duality was really good. Um, it's probably one of my top dungeons so far in Destiny 2. Probably won't. It's a pretty tough battle between Prophecy and Duality. They're just both really good dungeons. Um, that season brought Solstice of Heroes, and they introduced this thing where your Solstice armor, you could roll it with extra stats, and I thought that was really good. I what was I into that season? I want to say we were playing a lot of Apex, maybe. I think we were playing a lot of Apex, and I just didn't work on my Solstice armor. I did my Hunter's armor, and then I did a little bit of my Titan's armor, and I ran out of time. I just ran out of time. I left it in the back burner for too long, and I messed up. I did that a lot this year though. I slacked off so much on Destiny, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Um, but Solstice of Heroes happened, and then we moved on to the next season, Season of Plunder. Season of Plunder. You know, the best thing about that season, in my opinion, was the music going into the seasonal activity. But Season of the Plunder was not. It had a good storyline, but it just was not. It was not it for me. It just wasn't it for me. Season of the Plunder consisted of the Guardians working alongside the Drifter, Spider, Mithrax, and the Elixni scribe Ido, which is Mithrex's daughter, as they move to stop a recently thawed Aramis, who is the main villain in the last DLC, which were introduced to Stasis. So Aramis thawed, we froze her, and then she thawed out in this season, and she's working for the bad dudes now, well, even worse dudes. Um, but she's collecting the relics of Nezarec and face the old. We have to. Sorry. We're working with Scribe Ido as they move to stop the recently thawed Aramis from collecting the relics of Nezarec and face the old crews of fallen pirates allied under her control. Uh, says Aramis woke from her icy prison by a dark benefactor. She's rallied old pirate lords of Elixni legend to assist her in recovering lost relics of great power, which are the relics of Nezarec. Unless you plunder them first, there is no horizon to reach, no edge to your map, but there most certainly is treasure. Assemble your crew, Guardian. So, in this season, we kind of see um a little decline in interest from me personally. Um, they did introduce a new activity, which was a 6-man activity. So instead of just usually each activity from the past seasons is a 3-man activity. So you load in and you get 2 teammates and you go and do the activity. In this season, they introduced a 6-man activity. The thing is, for me, it just wasn't. The difficulty wasn't there. There was no difficulty to it. It was a little. I think things hit hard at the beginning, but after doing it for a few runs, like it got repetitive. You know, like you go in, you do this room, you might get another room. Like the rooms, were random. Might not get the same room twice, but in 2 runs, but it was just repetitive. It was the same. A room full of fallen. You gotta kill the fallen, and then you kill the big guy, and then you go to the next room. Kill the fallen, kill the big guy, go to the next room. And it was just kind of repetitive to me, to where I kind of that's when I stopped consistently streaming Destiny. Then I went to maybe streaming it every reset. Then I went to not streaming it at all. And that season, it was just, I don't know. Even the storyline was good. You know, we're stopping Aramis every week from collecting different relics, but we don't. There was just no. I don't know what words I'm looking for. There was just no interest in it. Like, oh, Big Fallen Dude has the relic. We gotta go get it. Beat him. Got the relic. Next week, same thing. The next week, the same thing. At the end, it got interesting when um when Aramis started. It it started to be Aramis, the one we were getting close to fighting. Um, and she kind of befriended Ido. And we thought, I mean, maybe we could get a turning of Aramis, turn to the good side, but she kind of ran away, and we didn't see her till this season again. But overall, Season of the Plunder wasn't great. I think the best thing that came out of Season of the Plunder was Arc 3.0. And that's something we didn't talk about at the beginning, like we did on the other ones, because the season is kind of down here that it makes you forget, oh, Arc 3.0 came out that season. We got a free Thunderlord that season. You know, you forget about the good things because the season was kind of mediocre, in my opinion. But I mean, everybody has like some people thought the season was fun, the activity was fun. But it's just my opinion. I didn't really enjoy the activity. I didn't enjoy the. Then there was another activity on top of the activity in which we would what we were trying to do. You would go to the Cosmodrome and you would like fight Fallen. I'm not sure what we're trying to do there, but that one was also repetitive. Like you go in, you cap a zone, go to the next one, cap that, go to the next one. Oh, you gotta throw the engrams into the ship. That's what it was. You throw the engrams into the ship, and the ship moves, and you throw more engrams into the ship, and the ship moves, and you go kill the boss. There just wasn't a difference every week. Like it was the same thing. It was the same thing, and that to me just kind of turned me off. That season turned me off, and but Arc 3.0 was really good. So the season, the gameplay wasn't great, but the Arc 3.0 was pretty good. We got everybody got their grenades. So now, because before hunters, arc grenades for hunters were just atrocious. You got the skip grenade, you got the flux grenade, and you got the what other grenade was there? Here we go. Okay, so we had skip grenades, flux grenades, and arc bolt grenades, and the best grenade of all three of them was the arc bolt grenade in PVE. The arc bolt grenade, you throw it and it goes zoop, and it kills anything that's within that radius. Versus Titans and Warlocks they had their pulse grenade, they had the Warlocks had their storm grenade, lightning grenades were super strong on Titans in PvP. But the Hunters didn't have that. But now they introduced Arc 3.0 where everybody has all the grenades. And it's the same thing for Void 3.0 and Solar 3.0. Everybody has all the same grenades, all the same abilities. And I think that's really good addition that they did, which we didn't talk about earlier. Uh, but yeah, I think Arc 3.0 is the best thing that came out of Season of the Plunder. In Season of the Plunder, we had King's Fall come out a few days after, and it took over Vow the Disciple, which I totally forgot to talk about Vow the Disciple. for the reason that I wanted to talk about it now, actually. King's Fall comes out, and it takes over Vow the Disciple for your pinnacle grind. So you got this raid that came out in Destiny 1, and it was right. I mean, King's Fall is the best raid that happened in Destiny 1. However, it took over the pinnacle grind in a raid that just came out in just 2 seasons. Vow of the Disciple was only the pinnacle raid for 2 seasons, and I know the same thing happened the year before with Vault of Glass, but I just I enjoyed Vow of the Disciple, and then they just kind of yanked it away. Like, yes, you could still go do Vow of the Disciple, and every few weeks it'll be your pinnacle, but it's just one pinnacle and it's the boss pinnacle. Versus King's Fall, which is a reintroduced raid from Destiny 1. Now that's your every single encounter has a pinnacle, and your pinnacles are what you need to level up. Excuse me. And I just didn't like. I mean, I enjoyed King's Fall. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the raid. I enjoyed both raids. They're really fun. I just didn't like the fact that it took over Vow of the Disciple. It kind of made Vow of the Disciple obsolete, and that raid had just come out. Um, if I if I can make things different, I would do where maybe, you know, do a weekly rotation on those two raids on which one is your pinnacle for the week. Like, each encounter has pinnacles this week for Vow, and next week it's King's Fall. Maybe do that. Um, that would be a good fix for it, or make King's Fall where the boss drop is the pinnacle, but you're also introducing new weapons with King's Fall, so you want people to play it and get their new weapons. So it's kind of tough, but I just felt like it made Vow obsolete. Like, you didn't have to do Vow anymore, and I really enjoyed Vow. I really enjoyed Vow. We were really close to getting our seals in our clan. Getting the pretty much the entire clan was gonna get the seal, but then they took it out and we stopped doing it. You know, we could go back and do it anytime, but we just didn't. Um, what another thing that came out in Season of the Plunder was Fortnite at Sea. Fortnite and Destiny 2 collaborated with each other. It was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. I have every single Fortnite skin that they had for Destiny. I got it. So that was cool. Um, After Season of Plunder came Season of the Seraph. And Season of the Seraph was a little more refreshing than Plunder was. I don't know if it was. Also, Season of the Plunder was a very long season. It stretched from August, September, October, November, into December, I believe. It had a long stretch, and versus Season of the Seraph was kind of short, you know. So Season of the Plunder was pretty long, and maybe that's what made me fall out of like with it. But it was really long because at the beginning I was playing the game, and then 4 weeks in, I was like, man, this is the same thing over and over again, and I just didn't enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy it. That's all it was. It's not that it was bad, you know. I just didn't enjoy it. Yeah, that was it. I just didn't enjoy it. So then comes Season of the Seraph. In Season of the Seraph, we see Mr. Clovis Bray make an appearance again. So I mean, basically, we're trying to, save our own ass, because here come the bad guys. The pyramids are getting close. They're in Seoul now. In Season of Seraph, Anna Bray is working to restore Rasputin to get the Warsats under control and prevent the Vex from taking them over. Okay, the Vex are trying to take over the Warsats. That's what starts it. Guardians will invade Braytech facilities across the system to collect Rasputin's subminds, pieces of Rasputin's consciousness, divided and scattered. So our goal in the weekly missions was to go into. You know what's funny is it says the Vex are trying to take over, and I just recall fighting Fallen. Like, I'm pretty sure I fought Fallen most of the season. Fallen and Hive. So we're trying to prevent that from happening, and we get introduced to our new seasonal activity, which is the Heist Battlegrounds. In the Heist Battlegrounds activity, fire teams will complete daring heists across the system to retrieve Rasputin's scattered submine fragments in order to restore the Warmind. Players will break into Braytech facilities, all while avoiding the facility's security system and hordes of enemies. Once submines have been retrieved, players will board the Warsat orbital platform to integrate the submines and restore Rasputin. Under the guidance of Anna and Clovis Bray, collect Seraph key codes to unlock Seraph chests and accumulate powerful weapons, armor, data fragments as you work to awaken Rasputin once again. So the whole thing was, it was kind of like a two-part activity. Like you would receive your orders from Clovis to go to this facility, right? But in order to get to that facility, you had to open a chest in this other activity. So you have to go do this other activity first, and then you can go into this other activity and unlock that week's data fragments. And they did that for a few weeks, and that was a lot more refreshing than the Season of the Plunder. Also, the amount of enemies that spawn and the activity is just fun. You know, Heist Battlegrounds is a lot more fun to me than Catch Crash. And I don't know why. Maybe the whole 6-man thing was just too much, you know? Maybe that's what turned me off towards that activity, but this the battlegrounds were really good. I thought the battlegrounds were really good. They were fun. Uh then they introduced this mission, the Seraph mission, and they gave it legend difficulty. And it was just so hard to do with teammates. Because legend difficulty, which was introduced at the beginning with Savathun's Throne World, with what do you call it, with the Witch Queen campaign, it was introduced to be scaling difficulty. So the more people that are on your fire team, the harder the activity is going to be. And we found that doing it by yourself was just so much easier than doing it with one or two teammates. And that kind of, it doesn't scare me, but it's kind of like, so are they gonna kind of tweak that a little bit? Because like I like to do the story missions with my friends, but if it's gonna be easier by myself, well, I'm gonna have to do the story mission by myself. You know? If the difference between having a person with you and it being so much harder than you by yourself, then you're gonna want to do the mission by yourself, just it's a little bit easier. Well, I mean, of course, some people like the harder content and they'll do it with teammates. That's fine. I mean, I'll do it with teammates. I don't mind. I just think if, say, Billy wants to play with his friend and they want to do the legend difficulty because you get more loot, and it's too hard for them. Well, they gotta play by themselves then if they want the extra loot, or they just play the regular mission, the regular difficulty, and they don't get the loot. I know that I think the exotics for Witch Queen were only available to you if you've completed the campaign on Legend difficulty. I think you could unlock them at the end if you completed. I'm not sure. I didn't. I never played the campaign on regular. I did all my runs on Legend, so I don't know how the exotics worked. But the Seraph mission difficulty kind of made me wonder where we're gonna go in Lightfall. What? How hard is it gonna be to play with teammates? And is it gonna deter people from doing it with teammates because it's so hard? I know Paul Tassi said, "Hey, guys, it's a lot easier if you just do it on your own. Like, don't do it with friends. Just do it on your own if you want to complete it. If you want to struggle, do it with friends. But if you don't want to struggle, do it by yourself." And I did it by myself, and I did it with friends, and I mean, the enemies were just so beefy. They were just so beefy. Next, um, so those are my thoughts on Season of the Seraph. The story was really good. I know a buddy of mine said Anna was overreacting because he never cries when he unplugs his toaster. uh, but Rasputin self destructs in the end, and well, the whole story starts with we don't know how to unlock Rasputin, so we go to Clovis Bray for help. Clovis is the big robot head in Europa, and so Clovis comes says, "Yeah, I'll help. Cool, bro." And when we reactivate Rasputin, Rasputin's like, "Hey, this guy didn't just activate me to help you. He activated me to also, you know, kill everybody, pretty much." And Anna didn't take very well to it, so she kind of deleted Clovis, and she killed Clovis by deleting him because he was a robot. She deleted his memory, I guess you could say, and she input Rasputin into it. It was kind of like in Age of Ultron, Avengers: Age of Ultron, when Ultron kills Jarvis. It's kind of like that kind of vibe. uh, so Rasputin takes over, and he tells us you know, how to take over the facilities and how to activate all his stuff. And he finishes activating his stuff, and then he realizes he does algorithms and stuff in his head, or he computes how we're gonna be able to destroy our enemies. And then we have Miss Aramis going to his. All of it is a race to who gets to Rasputin's weapons first. So by the time we get there, Aramis is there. Aramis is there, and she aims all of Rasputin's weapons at the Traveler. So Rasputin is unable to just, you know, turn off his weapons. He doesn't have the ability to turn off his weapons. The only thing he has the ability to do is self-destruct in order to destroy everything Seraph. And just a few weeks before this happened, we got the announcement that Warmind cells are going away. And we were like, damn, well, I mean, they sucked anyway, but they're going away. Feels bad. Not like anybody used any. I mean, I used them at the beginning of this season to mess around, and all I was using was for healing. But but then I stopped. uh, but yeah, so Rasputin self destructs and everything Seraph just disintegrates, and he saves the Traveler. Oh, by the way, fucking Traveler fucking tried to dip. If there wasn't guns aimed at him, I think homie's fucking in Neptune right now, which is where we're going next anyway. Jokes on him. So anyway, in Season of the Seraph, we also get introduced to Spire of the Watcher. This is a new dungeon. So duality goes away. Spire of the Watcher comes in, and that's fine. Duality was fun. I miss doing duality. Um, but Spire of the Watcher is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just connecting nodes, and the bosses are so beefy though. It it's it's borderline annoying. It's fun because it's a little harder. The boss takes more damage than usual. Like you can't one phase him. Maybe you can, and I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just terrible or something. But I did see some people post that, oh, you can one phase him with a div and two freaking machine guns. What's the machine gun called? We used to use it all the damn time. I forgot what it's called. It is. Or is it? Xenophage. I see people using Xenophage on this guy, and they're saying that they're one or two phasing him. And I'm like, what? Which I still haven't tried. Which I should try, right? I should try that. But yeah, the bosses are super beefy. There's two bosses. There's a harpy boss, and then your big old harpy boss. Did I say harpy twice? I did, right? There's a harpy boss, and then what's that huge thing called? Wyvern. There's a wyvern boss. If you know wyverns are kind of dicks. Put it in nice terms. They're assholes. They like to pounce on you and stuff. But overall, not it's not too difficult. Was able to solo flawless that one. I was able to solo flawless duality. But it was really good. I think it's pretty good. Of the two dungeons that came out this DLC, duality was better, but Spire's not. It wasn't too far behind. It was pretty good. Then what else do we have in this season? We had the return of Seraph weapons, like the shotgun, the SMG. The SMG is great. If you haven't made one, make one. Before the end of the week. Um, which you should be able to do. You just need 5 days. If you need all five, you just 5 different days. Do the runs to get the stuff you need to get the Seraphic Umbral energy to buy the gun frame, and that's it. GG's. You got all 5 frames, and you just work on it next season. So yeah, that is all that happened. Rasputin commit self destruction and saved us, and the traveler just stayed in orbit to chill and watch the pyramids come in. And in the cutscene, you hear the visit. What's his name? The hell's his name? Fish Face. We'll call him Fish Face. Fish Face. Aramis says, "What's he doing?" And Fish Face says, "He has nowhere left to run." Whatever, bro. So we'll see what happens in Lightfall. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. There's gonna be new content to be made. There's gonna be new weapons. There's gonna be new everything. There's gonna be new things to unlock. There's gonna be new abilities to unlock. So there's gonna be a lot of work. There's gonna be a lot of grinding. Finally, happens once a year, but there's gonna be a lot of grinding, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to um Callus. to Callus being a disciple. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great. I hope everybody's looking forward to it. I hope everybody's excited for it. I think Lightfall is going to be one of the better DLCs that we've gotten in a long time. I think Savathun, I think Witch Queen was one of the best DLCs we've had in Destiny 2. Probably top. Probably number one. Um, PvE. Um, some things I would like to see changed, and it's nothing against casual players, but I think there's no reason right now to do a master raid. There's no reason to get the best gun. Like if I was to go into King's Fall and I want the best Doom of Chelchis, I'm just gonna do the regular King's Fall to get the red borders and craft myself a Doom of Chelchis so I could get the role that I want. Versus in King's Fall, it has the cool looking Doom of Chelchis that's just like matte black and red, and it looks amazing, but what's the point in grinding the master raid when I could get the better gun in the regular raid? I could just get 5 red border Doom of Chelchis in the regular raid and just go craft it. Not have to deal with the master raid. And wait for the roll that I want to drop because I can't craft that one. So what I think they should do is make it to where the craftable ones are in the master difficulty and the regular drops are in the regular difficulty. Yes, it would take away from the casual community, um, because they have to grind, for their role. But you just grinded for the 5 red borders. You can grind for the role you want. You could buy one at the end and just collect your raid coins and turn them in for different roles, and you'll get the role you want eventually. But I believe that the red borders should be in the master raid. I think that's where they belong. If you can make the weapon whatever you want, it should be behind hard content. It shouldn't be behind regular content. And I think that's where we miss the ball with stuff on, well, people that like to do the harder content. It's not rewarding right now. And that's where the people that do like to do the harder content are like, dude, you want to do master this? For what? Like, yes, I could put big one spec onto the dude Machelchas like that, but I keep getting unrelenting and freaking something else. I forgot what it rolled with. I keep getting ensemble and unrelenting, or you know. So I think that if they did that, you would see more people doing master raids. And believe it or not, most people do hard content. There's a lot of players in Destiny 2 that enjoy the hard content. So that's my thoughts on that. I do want to talk about Vow of the Disciple real quick. I was upset that Vow of the Disciple only had its 2 seasons of Pinnacle and then they took it away. Vow of the Disciple is one of the better raids that we've gotten in Destiny 2. That doesn't include Vault of Glass. It doesn't include King's Fall. Riven is number 1. I think Vow is pretty number 2. Vow is really good. Vow of the Disciple is kind of, I don't know if it's underrated, but it's a really good raid. But that was the last thing I had right there. Was Vow of the Disciple. But guys, if you're watching this, just, let me know in the comments what you think, what you want to see changed in Lightfall. Anything PvE or PvP related, I want to hear what your thoughts are. Just let me know and just leave it in the comments, and I'll get to you. I want to talk to people. Um, I will have guests. I was supposed to have a guest today and asking questions about the past year in. Uh, I want to. I was supposed to have a guest today, and I wanted to ask about the whole year. I wanted to know their thoughts, but they got called into work, so they weren't able to be here. I wanted to know their thoughts on all of these topics that we touched on, but I also want to know your thoughts. So leave it in the comments. Any thoughts, any changes you want to see, anything what you liked about Witch Queen and the entire year surrounding Witch Queen. What were your favorite moments? What were your least favorite moments? My least favorite moment was Season of the Plunder. I'd leave it there with Season of the Plunder. And rating the seasons, there was 4 seasons. Number 4 would be Season of the Plunder. Number 3 would be Season of Seraph. 2 would be Season of Haunted, and number 1 would be Season of the Risen. That's how I would rate them. But let me know how you would rate them in the comments. And that's going to be it for the pit for today's episode. We will see you all again on Thursday for the 12. It's final 12 of the season or the year before Lightfall, and we'll see what's gonna happen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all for watching, and if you are tuning in, and I will see you all on Thursday for the 12. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. See you later.